Hi, welcome everyone to BOW Brokers Opens and Tours Worldwide and Florida Closing and Escrow for our weekly broadcast. Today, we're here with Anthony Bauza, expert real estate attorney, and John Iwanu will be joining us shortly. So, let's start off with any of the COVID updates as far as any news about the moratorium for the mortgages and the stimulus and the rental assistance program.
Yeah, so the moratorium was extended until the end of this month, January 31st. And just recently on Tuesday, January 12th, Governor Ron DeSantis announced that the state of Florida will be taking part in the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. This program was established under the COVID-19 relief legislation that was just passed into law on December 27th. The program will provide $1.4 billion in emergency rental assistance to Floridians, of which it's anticipated that more than $850 million of that will be administered directly by the state of Florida. Cities and counties with a population of 200,000 and greater will receive the funds directly from the U.S. Department of Treasury. So that includes, the Tri-County area of Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. Households have to meet a certain criteria to be eligible for the assistance, such as qualifying for unemployment or experiencing a reduction in your household income. The state expects to receive these funds from the federal government in the coming weeks, so we have to stay tuned to see just how these state and local governments will set up this program for both landlords and tenants to apply for.
Okay, great. Thank you. And the stimulus checks of many have received and or are on the way. Do you have anything you want to add?
For the most part, all stimulus checks should have gone out. There is a IRS website. They have a Get My Payment tool in which you put in your information, and it'll give you the exact date in which your payment was set to go out, as well as the kind of payment that was sent to go out. So if it was a check, if it was a electronic debit card, or a direct deposit, it'll let you know when it was going to go out and the date that it was scheduled.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And next we're going to go to good news. Remote work due to the pandemic pushed 1/3 of buyers to move, and 33% polled said they would relocate if their current work from home mandate becomes permanent. And there's been an interest in Miami's office space that has reached a new high. The Wall Street Journal reported, per Vice Chairman of Bianca Commercial Real Estate, that companies from outside the Miami-Dade area are now looking to lease a total of 1.1 million square footage of office space in the county. And this is the highest of any time in history. And half of the companies moving to Miami are financial service companies. Another third are tech, advertising, and media related, and also from the information sector. And a Class A office development on Miami Beach's Terminal Island is moving forward. It's going to be 2 stories, 5 towers, 5-foot towers, 5-floor towers, with a restaurant that's rooftop. So it looks like that's going to be approved. And it looks like more and more people are going to work from where they want to live. The founder and CEO of payday lender Check Into Cash has sold his Palm Beach mansion for $27 million. An executive of a major oil company in Venezuela sold his waterfront mansion on Sunset Island, Miami Beach, for $17.38 million. And a lot of people from Wall Street are migrating here, and 21 new Miami towers are going up downtown. So a lot of activity due to the work at home due to the pandemic. John now has joined us. John Iowanu from Florida Closing and Escrow, expert real estate attorney. You want to add some to the good news?
Yeah, the total home sales across the region reached nearly 4.3 billion in November. And all three counties for us in South Florida, Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach, enjoyed double-digit increases in sales year over year, as they did also in October and September. So actually, for the third straight month, luxury sales, and those are the sales over $1 million plus, have led the way, with sales increasing an incredible 127% year over year. So big movement in the high-end areas. It's expected that the pandemic will continue to propel the residential sales market in an upward trajectory for 2021. 2021 is also starting with some pretty amazing low mortgage rates, giving buyers a big break and their powerful opportunity to purchase. The average interest rate on a 30-year fixed loan is now only 2.65%. That's the lowest level in nearly 50 years. The average 15-year fixed loan dropped to 2.16%. Incredible low rates. These are almost a full percentage point lower than they were last year. So with the low interest rates, this gives buyers more opportunity to purchase and will continue to give us a strong real estate market, at least for the beginning of 2021 and hopefully through 2021.
Yes, the forecast is very positive ahead. And next, we're going to speak about the future of cities, which are forecasted to be walkable, healthy, and resilient, and include the 15-minute city. Cities, as you know, have been challenged, and the pandemic has accelerated certain trends. But the good news is that they are focusing more on environment and health factors. So, Anthony, if you can elaborate.
Right. So cities have been facing a challenge in ways that they haven't for at least a generation. And certain trends that we were already seeing before the pandemic, are more pronounced. Shifts will have happened. Some people will move out of larger cities to other places, but many of these will just be short-term trends of movements of people to suburbs. What we have been seeing is that the neighborhood has been becoming even more central to day-to-day life during the pandemic. The trend towards street closures rapidly increased during the pandemic, as many cities temporarily closed their streets so that pedestrians would have more access and space to navigate in the new environment. This has actually led to permanent closures in cities across the globe: Seattle, Oakland, Washington, D.C., Paris, Melbourne, Australia. All of them are pursuing this concept of what's known as a 15-minute city. So it's creating more space for people to get around, more access to improved walkability, improved community-centric urban design. The concept of the 15-minute city gives us a chance also to change the way that cities are structured. And as you said, the environment is something that needs to be front and center as we reimagine cities. Cities need to be retrofitted, for example, to allow for airflow and ventilation, which has become an increased importance in this new environment. We're also in this era of hyper sanitization, where people expect the places that they inhabit to be healthier and are more cognizant of the air quality. And since Americans spend more than 90% of their lives inside, there's also a renewed focus on high-end air filtration systems, so much so that popular HVAC systems are selling out nationwide. So I think we'll see a trend of architects balancing the need for healthy buildings as well as extremely sustainable buildings. and redesigning these workspaces to simulate nature and have better air filtration system and using more sustainable materials is a trend that I think that we will see not only now during the pandemic, but once we get past this as well.
Correct. And I know there are companies such as Dr. Aroma that will assess your personal space, your home, and or your work or buildings, and implement techniques to help you have cleaner air, as well as different scents and so forth. And I also know of a company that just got FDA approval that is a organic, you can even drink it if you would so choose, but it would disinfect surfaces and can be aerosolized to disinfect the air, actually from COVID and any viruses. So a lot of advances in the health arena have arisen due to the pandemic, but actually a lot of them are very positive. So we'll have healthier environments in the future. Okay, the pandemic has also ushered in new methods to facilitate selling a home, which look like they might be here to stay. Many safety solutions, such as self-guided home tours with personal protective equipment, are in states that have high surges right now. And many experts predict some solutions will have staying power. If John, you could go into more detail.
Yeah, sure. There's actually 4 things realtors can do, and what we do as well. So number 1 is curbside and no-touch closing. So what is that? It's basically kind of what it sounds like. We as a title company will walk out to a client's car. They can come to our office, stay in their car in the parking lot, and we'll bring out the closing documents to them. They can sign there instead of coming into our conference room. Also, if the seller has a social security number, the seller can use what's called the remote online notarization platform, where they can go online with a notary and sign the documents that way. If there is a buyer getting a loan, and depending on whether the lender will allow it, there's also a thing called remote ink notarizations, where the buyer can also use a notary platform. So that's one of them. The next one is for realtors to be mindful of presenting the home in the best light online is now more important than ever during the pandemic. So when in-person houses are limited, what realtors should do is definitely use high quality listing photos. And not just the photos, but also the listing description now is more important than it ever was before. So try, if you can, to use professional photos. Virtual tours are so important. Also, don't leave out the description of the property. Make sure to include a nice detailed description. Many agents leverage social media by posting video tours of their homes on Instagram and on Facebook Live, which has been very well received by buyers. So definitely Cindy can help you with that, with Bow Open Tours as well. So if you have any questions about doing those, contact her. Number 3 is virtual showings are here to stay. So open houses can still be done, obviously with limited capacity or whatnot, but the virtual showings are truly the future of selling a home. Virtual showings through 3D videos have already revolutionized the way the industry does business and will continue to do so. I don't know if any of you have had the chance, but I took a 3D tour recently. They're amazing. The detail of these videos, it's almost as if you're walking through the house. So if you have an out-of-state buyer that has travel restrictions, 3D videos are huge. It can also help you as a realtor because they're going to lessen their search. If they go through 10 3D videos, they can tell you, okay, we know which houses we want to definitely go see in person if we ever do get there. So make sure if you are listing a house that you have a 3D video available. Also, some buyers, because of the travel restrictions, are buying sight unseen. But in order to do so, they're going to need these professional photos. They're going to need these 3D tours, and they're going to need all the tools that they can get, so they are able to buy without actually coming down here. And if you're a buyer's agent, you want to be able to offer them the ability for you to actually go to the house and maybe take a video or do a FaceTime live or a conference call where you're kind of walking them through the house. And those are the steps.
Correct. And as John said, we can assist you through BOW, brokers, opens, and tours worldwide. In fact, we could bring you on screen or the seller on screen, and he can do a live virtual tour of the property. And you can bring on any experts you want as well. You could bring on a lender for financing. You could bring on John or Anthony or a real estate attorney for any questions about how to structure the deal and the closing process. And the BOW is available to be live and also simulcast on multiple channels. And in addition, you'll get more viewers than if you just do a regular traditional open house, which maybe you'll get 20 people, 40 people, or up to 100 people to attend. This way you can get thousands to even millions of viewers. We have targeted marketing available where you can target buyers from New York or whatever key locations you would like through digital marketing tools. And we also have experts who we work with for, as John mentioned, the 3D tours, which are very effective. And we have immersion tours, virtual realty tours, drone, and other tools available. So contact us for assistance. And for closings, we include expert legal services from contract to closing. We have most languages. We're digital, paperless, wireless, remote, and mobile. So we're here to increase your success. And Anthony, if you want to add to some examples of virtual tour successes, I know there were some agents who were able to make sales this way, and luxury properties actually can be sold without the clients visiting the site. And there's been an upsurge in virtual viewings this past year. It takes a dedicated agent to make this work. And if you can elaborate.
Yeah, so definitely it can be done, and we've seen this past year that yes, it can be, but yes, you do need to be dedicated to it and have the right tools available. So one of the first things that I could recommend is definitely leverage the power of video sharing platforms. Learning not only the essentials, but also the nuances of going live for a virtual open house. And make it informational and fun for the viewer. You could do Facebook Live. You could also do the simulcast with BOW, and a multitude of different networks that are available. The virtual open house is key because it allows you to showcase the best features of the listing while simultaneously engaging with the audience and being able to answer questions. And the important part of this is that it extends your audience well beyond the local area due to promotions that you could do prior to the event. An effective way to reach an even larger audience after the event would be to record the virtual open, and then you could use that on your social media and promote it even further. You could submit it to your YouTube channel or a BOW related YouTube channel and open your potential audience even further. And of course, along with your video, you include, even more detailed information about the property and area. It's not just the content that's critical. The first step is always creating the video, creating that virtual open. It's always these next steps to strategically distribute the video that will prove your efforts most effective. Focusing on your specialty is key, and definitely understanding what your client's wish list is and providing a personalized virtual tour is very crucial to this process. You can also As far as sellers are concerned, you can talk to them about the increased exposure that the virtual tour would allow their property to be exposed to. Let's say someone in New York that wants to buy a property in South Florida without ever having to come to South Florida. So you definitely can open up the exposure and let your sellers know that this is a valuable tool that you will be providing them. As far as the tour itself, virtual tours can provide you with the tools to help your buyer fall in love with a home. Always be sure to try not to speed it up. Go slowly through the home. You can speak from behind the camera while you have the property, taking the upfront view, and show them all the details, show them the unique aspects of the home that they may not be able to get from just standard pictures. And whenever they have a question, be sure to stop and take the time and answer any questions that they may have as you give them the tour of the property. The virtual tour allows you to do the home justice and personalize it in a way that you can to your specific buyer and what they're looking for. And lastly, make multiple use of tools and technologies available. For example, there's Facebook Live, but there's also other video calling software. For example, Zoom. Zoom is a platform that could be used on all different types of operating systems and on phones and computers. It even allows whoever's attending the video call to invite other people to the call. You can have multiple participants. You can record the call. So definitely take advantage of all the technology out there, because the virtual showings do offer a great flexibility to not only buyers, but also to sellers and agents alike.
Correct. And as Anthony mentioned, you want to have the tours be shareable and also replayable. And that's available through BOW. You would get a link and you'd be able to share it on your YouTube channel and other channels as well. And I know, for instance, Sotheby's has their own YouTube channel, so you will expand your market of viewers. And also, you can have your tour narrated. If you don't want to be on screen, we can provide that for you. So some agents are a little shy about being on live tours. So one way to go work around this is to have it narrated for you, or to just show the property as mentioned. So there are definitely tools that we can help you with. So please contact us. And next question goes to John. What are things that could be negotiated besides the home price?
Yeah, basically everything's negotiable, but we're going to focus on 4 now. Is basically the first one is repairs. It's highly recommended, number 1, to do an inspection of the property. Some buyers might want to consider maybe foregoing it to make their offer look stronger. I highly recommend against doing that. You always want to do an inspection of the property, especially for homes. You want to make sure that the roof is okay, the foundation's okay, the plumbing and the electrical is all okay. And also, because if you do get a report back that areas are needed to be repaired, you can use that to negotiate the price down a little bit. Or if they want to reduce the price, you can say, okay, give us a credit toward repairs, and that can help with negotiations. Number 2 is a buyer can be flexible with the scheduling of the closing. If you want to make your offer more attractive to sellers, tell them that, okay, yeah, we want to close, but we're willing to work with you on scheduling and closing. Sometimes sellers have certain issues or certain time frames that they need to follow. So be flexible with that. And also, if the buyer needs to move in before the closing, let's say that their loan isn't ready yet, consider preparing what's called a pre-closing occupancy addendum, so they can move in early. And or for the sellers, if they want to close but then they need time to move out, or they have some issues with regards to travel, you can tell them that the buyer would be willing for the seller to sign a post-closing occupancy agreement. So just be flexible with time to make your offer look stronger to the sellers. And number 3 is closing costs. Closing costs are usually between 2 to 5% of the home's purchase price. So if you're locked in, both sides are locked in on the purchase price, you might want to consider asking the seller maybe to cover some of the buyer's closing costs, and maybe the two parties can agree on that amount. And then finally, decor and furniture. That's always negotiable. Furniture, light fixtures, appliances, and other pieces. So again, if both parties are locked on a certain price, then you might want to ask the seller if they want to throw in the furniture and some other maybe patio furniture and things like that.
Okay, and one advantage of working with us at Florida Closing and Escrow is that we include legal services with our title and closing. So we help to structure deals to close. We hold escrow. We'll answer any questions for you and clients. And we could set up LLCs at cost and do addendums, all included in our services at no additional fee. So we hope we can assist you with your success going forward this year. And we're at floridaclosing.com. And if Anthony or John want to add anything? And no other good news? Then we thank you for joining us and for being loyal viewers and clients. And again, stay safe and healthy and successful. And join us again next week. And you could always watch the replays if you are not able to join us live. Thank you from Florida Closing and Escrow, and bow.